So this is going to be a tutorial on the B section in Reverse RBA. So before I talk about all the setups and everything, I'm going to start from Mumbo's skull in CCW to entering the 765 note door. And firstly, I want to talk a bit about basic B movement, and then I want to talk about the controller grip for a few reasons. The first B movement, if you look at XZ on the top left corner, that's your speed. So the B goes at 375 maximum. And of course, just as usual, you go to that speed the fastest if you jump. And you want to make sure to jump to turn so you can keep that top speed. But that's just general movement mechanics that you should know already from just Banjo itself. And yeah, that's just about it for walking. Now flying. So the B moves at 1,200-ish when you're holding B, and 600 when you're not holding B. So just twice as fast, which is really fast. But now I want to show one thing really quickly. So if you're flying, now say you press A, you lose some speed there. You notice you lose some speed at the very end of your sparkles. So this is sort of just like the slide as BK. At the end of your slide, you lose some speed. At the end of your sparkles, you lose some speed. So now how to avoid this, if you hold up, you'll keep your top speed. Hold up, you'll keep that top speed. You won't go down. Keep that top speed all the time. And yeah, that's just about it. So that's just about it for B movement mechanics. Now, I just want to talk a bit about controller grip. So, in this RBA section, there's going to be a few times where you have to hold R, hold B, and press A few times. And that can be kind of uncomfortable for the normal grip on the controller. So what I like to do sometimes is hold R with my middle finger, hold B with my pointer finger, and then that leaves my thumb free to press the A button when needed. I don't do this for the whole thing, but I do it for some places. I mainly do it to take off, because when you take off as a B, you want to get into flight as fast as possible. So you want to double tap A as fast as you can. So I pretty much always do it to take off, but I usually let go of that grip afterwards. And yeah, that's about it. The most crucial thing that you need to be able to hold R, hold B, and press A for is the 765 note door clip. That's the main thing you need to be able to do that well for. And yeah, so that's about it. Now I can start showing you all the setups for everything. Alright, so I'm quickly going to show the first little section, just from Mumbo's hut to leaving Click Clock Wood. So, you want to take off down right, and just mash A 14 times. And then you'll be at a good enough height. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Then you just want to fly and land here. Now, if you don't do soft lock, then it's just simple. You just go down here. Just walk. You don't have to do anything special. You just walk and you enter here. So now, if you do soft lock, then you'll have to get the flower Jiggy. And if you don't do soft lock, then you can just skip to the next part. But if you do soft lock, then what you want to do is you want to take, you want to fall off down there, press A after like maybe 2 full seconds-ish. You just want to press A pretty late. The flower, I think the flower is lower than most people would think. Then you just want to get the Jiggy, and then you want to land on the flower. You go here, press A like there-ish, maybe even later, but you just want to go onto the flower. Now, the setup for this, just to get in here, without the token, because you don't need it anymore in Reverse RBA, is to just press A 2 times to get into flight, then 2 more times. So like this. Then you get in there. So, ideally you would just go straight in there, a hole in one. But that can be hard. If you don't want to go for that, then you can do a full jump instead of just double tapping A. And then that'll get you on top of the hive. And you also want to make sure to not hold B until you're facing the hive. Because there's no reason to go fast in that direction. You only want to go fast in this direction, towards the hive. So yeah, that's about it for that part. And now here, you want to hold R, hold B, double tap A, don't touch the joystick. Now once the camera's turned, just go turn the joystick a little bit towards the Jinjo. Then you can get that. You can jump down with the Jiggy or wait, whichever one you prefer. Now you want to go fly into this corner, double tap A and hold B, and you'll clip out every time, just like that. So, a little thing about that, you want to make sure to fly more towards the wall rather than the back wall. And just hold B. If you're not clipping right away, if you're not clipping after like a few seconds, then maybe press A one more time. But generally, you should always just be able to clip easily if you just hold B in that direction. Yeah. That's it. Now I can show you the rest of this. Alright, so I'm going to show this part in one full section. And then I'm going to show getting to the Jiggy, then getting to the door. Then I'll show the 765 Nitro clip as another section. Mainly because I think that these two parts are kind of technical and you can lose a lot of time to it if you don't know what you're doing. So for this first setup, for the Jiggy, I see two different setups. And I'll show both. First one is to do a full jump. Then at the peak of your jump, press A. Then press A 4 more times with a small space in between. And make sure to hold up while you're pressing A 4 times to keep your top speed, like I said in the intro, with the basic movement. And then you should just fly straight into the Jiggy. It looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you fly straight into the Jiggy, just like that. So now, second setup. This is the setup that I like to use. This setup is slightly faster. So, if you noticed with the setup that I showed you, you have to press A at the top of your jump, at the peak of your jump. And that doesn't let you take off as fast as you can. So it's slightly slower. But I guess it's also negligible. So that's why I showed it, so you can do it if you want. Like, just do whatever's comfortable for you. You won't lose that much time since it's pretty much negligible. But yeah, this next setup is just mashing A 7 times. After you take flight, make sure to hold up as usual. Then you just aim for the Jiggy. Like this. 7. Now aim for the Jiggy. Just like that. Alright. So that's it for that section. Now for the next section, getting to the door, I'm going to be showing 3 different ways. The most optimal, a slightly slower setup, and then the beginner setup. Just the beginner setup that I came up with. So for the most optimal, you're gonna drop down, press A right before you land. You don't want to press A too early, otherwise it can mess things up. That's the hardest part. And then you want to fly at the door, sort of at a perpendicular angle. For camera reasons I'll explain later in the 765 portion of this video. So, you want to hold down left when you drop here. This is where I like to start getting into my RBA grip, which is holding R with the middle finger, B with the pointer finger, and pressing A with your thumb. Like this. Just like that. I know I did the clip there, but I just did that for comfort's sake for me. I'll show you how to do it in a bit. So now the other setups. This slightly easier one, is landing down there on the ground, and then just doing 3 A presses. And then that'll get you to a good height at the door. It's slightly easier, and it loses a bit of time. But you want to come at the door perpendicular, at a perpendicular angle, just like the other setup. So it's like this. So I was a bit too high there, but that's fine. Being a bit too high is way better than being a bit too low. For obvious reasons, you might accidentally open the door. You just have to press A 3 times fast. I just didn't do it as fast there. But that's basically how it goes. Now for the beginner setup. This is just a setup that I came up with for beginners. Just to have something consistent. If you have something that you think you can do fast, then go for it by all means. This is just what I just came up with. So you're gonna fall down there on the ground, do a full jump, like hold A for like a second. Then when you think you're at the peak of your jump, then press A again. Then fly towards the alcove there or whatever. Then hold down to land. You want to land as a beginner for the note door clip. And you hold down so you don't accidentally open the note door. So it doesn't really matter if you come at the door from a perpendicular angle or not. So it just looks like this. Hold down here and just go do the clip. Alright, so that's just about it for this portion. Now I can show the 765 clip. So, for the 765 note door clip, I'm actually going to explain two different things before I show you how to do the clip itself. And I highly recommend you listen to them, just because it's crucial that you should know this. So the first thing is something about the camera. The camera matters a lot for the 765 note door clip. When most people fail it, they mostly fail it because of the camera. Top runners included, like everyone's included, that's usually the reason why people fail it. So if the camera is weird, like this, if it's above the door like this, or if it's at an angle like this, or if it's an angle like that, then it's going to be really hard to clip. You want it to be just straight, as straight as possible. It can be slightly up and it'll still work, but you generally want to have it as straight like this as possible. If you find yourself caught with the camera above the door like this, just keep holding B, press A every now and then so you don't fall down, and then just tilt up a bit, like how my joystick is doing right now. Then you can do the clip. So that's something that you should know for the camera. The other thing is just, if there's a grunty text that's talking while you're doing the clip, then it'll be really, really easy to clip. Like, the clip will be really fast. So, it can be a good thing if you can react fast enough, but I'm just saying that you should know that. You should be aware of that, because usually if you don't know that, then you'll just end up clipping out and voiding out, which will lose you a lot of time. So yeah, now I can show you how to do the clip. So to do this clip, you want to fly into the top corner of the door. You also want to make sure you're holding R and holding B. And this is what I definitely like to use my RBA grip here, with the middle finger on the R button, pointer finger on the B button, and A with the thumb. So you want to fly into the top corner, hold up for a split second, let go of up and put it to neutral. Then right away mash A 3 times. Then right after you mash A 3 times, hold up right. And it looks like this. I wrote it out there because I didn't hold up right enough. That's the point. I also forgot to mention one more thing. If you're setting this up from the ground here, then the visual key to stand is like just above the circle. You can double tap A here, and then do the setup. So it'll look like this. Just like that. Take a look at my input display, so you can get an idea for how long to hold up. And you don't really have to mash A super fast, just triple tap. But yeah, that's just about it. For getting to the Cauldron, it's kind of difficult. I would definitely not recommend trying to go inside the Cauldron, like in flight. I would recommend to anyone to just land. And to do that, it's a little difficult, but if you practice it, you can get it down. So I like to go, the path that I like to take is just like under the whip crack tunnel, and I like to aim for the gold feather. I like to go here and turn into this place right here. You want to let go of B, right around the end, just in case. Just in case you have too much momentum and you might accidentally detransform. But yeah, that's just about it for this section. Alright, so for this next section, most people would just end up holding down right here. And that's a good idea, but you go right back into the Cauldron. Obviously you want to hold down because that's where you're supposed to go next, but you go into the Cauldron. What you're supposed to do, the good thing to do is hold down, but right when the bee lands on the Cauldron, press A to jump over it. And continue going down and into this Cauldron, the pipe. Then it's just simple, you just face the right way, make sure of that, and then take flight. Alright, now for this room, I'm going to be showing my setup for it. 1 second. Okay, my setup for this, right when I come into this room, I like to hold not fully down left, sort of halfway to down left. And I don't like to hold B here. Not right away. I'm always holding R. So when I come out of this pipe, I'm holding R, holding slightly down left, like halfway to fully down left. Then once I'm out of the pipe and about to face towards the door, that's when I start holding B. Then you press A one more time to get enough height. And it'll look like this. Just like that. Really simple. You want to make sure to not hold B right away, because you might accidentally go too far out, or you might accidentally get caught on the pipe. But yeah. Now this next room is pretty simple, straightforward. I would recommend landing on the scarf there, not the chin. So the chin might be faster, like in a task setting, but I think the scarf is faster, mainly because I have splits for this entire RBA section, like loading zone splits, and my current gold lands on the scarf there. So that's just what I do in runs now. So you want to land on the scarf, double tap A here, hold down right when you get on the scarf, and walk into this. If you're not clipping right away, then just wiggle a bit and you'll clip. Then out here, the setup, just to get to the door, is 4 A presses. Just mash A 4 times. And make sure to hold up, just like for general B movement, to keep your top speed. If you press A 3 times, you just won't get enough height no matter what you do, so it's just 4 times. And you fly in. Now this room, if you hold forward and try to get into flight, you'll end up going on the stairs like that. But what I like to do in this room is I like to double tap A first and then start holding up. And then after that, you'll be at a good height, like right in front of the coffin. So after that, you just want to fly towards the coffin, and right before you land on it, you want to press A. Then you'll sort of be flying into the corner of the coffin. Then while you're flying into the corner of the coffin, you want to sort of turn around to get to the next loading zone. It's really simple, and it's actually really easy, so it looks like this. Then turn, go into this loading zone, and now you fly into there. But one thing I want to mention though, if you fly into the very top corner of the doorway, it's not going to work that well. There's like a little wall here, so you want to make sure to not fly into the very top of this loading zone. It's just something to know. Alright, so I'll cut it off for that section, and I'll go to the next. Alright, so for this room, I'm going to be showing first a beginner and an advanced strat for the iJiggy. Then I'm going to be showing the FP Lair Jiggy, how to get that. Then I'm going to be showing how to escape the iJail, if you ever get caught into it. So I think this is probably the hardest room in Reverse RBA. So I definitely recommend practicing this the most out of everything. So the beginner setup, what I've came up with is do a full jump, then at the peak of your jump press A, then press A one more time in flight, and then approach the eye. So I'm going to be showing one thing here. just the side to go on, you want to approach the eye from this side, right here. This side. You don't want to approach it from this side over here, because you won't be able to get it, and you don't want to approach it from this side over here. You want to make sure to approach it from here, and then you'll be able to get the eye Jiggy. So once you do that, once you do the setup, if you tap and hold A, and press A, and then press A again, you'll end up slightly above the eye Jiggy. So then the setup that I came up with is to let go of B while you're approaching it, and then you want to hold down and sort of rub against the eye Jiggy and descend, and you'll hopefully get the eye Jiggy as you're descending. So it looks like this. Let go of B. Just like that. Sometimes that can happen where you sort of land on the eye. It's not that big of a deal, because you usually get the eye, usually get the Jiggy when that happens. But I'll show it again a few more times, just so you know what it looks like. Then you go fly to the next place. I'll show it one more time, then I'll show the advanced setup. If you miss the eye Jiggy, just like I did there, then you can press A as you're rubbing against the bottom. Then you can get the Jiggy just like that. So I'll show it one more time. That's actually good that that happened, so I can mention that. You want to make sure to hold up. I don't know if I mentioned that. You want to make sure to hold up while you're flying. Just as general B movement mechanics say, you'll keep your top speed. So yeah. Now the advanced setup. This setup is pretty cool. It's pretty fast. I like it a lot. So what you want to do is just mash A 3 times right when you come into the loading zone. Hold R and B as usual. Then you want to approach the eye Jiggy from the same angle. And you sort of just want to rush into it. And then you'll get the eye Jiggy. Basically it just looks like this. Just like that. I'll show it a few more times. It's actually not that hard. I don't think so. I don't think it's that hard. It can be done really fast. Even that time, it was done fast, but I took a little time to set it up. I'll show it one more time. Then you just go to the next place. Alright, so while you're going here, so say you're here, go, make sure to hold up while the sparkles are going away, press A again, and you're flying through this tunnel. So now to get this FP Lair Jiggy, the setup for this is to press A near the endish of the tunnel. But you want to press it early enough so you get caught on like the roof of this tunnel a bit before you exit. Then once you leave the tunnel, then you want to press A again, and then you'll be at a good height to just get the Jiggy. So right here again, you just get the Jiggy just like this. I'll show this again, since I was awkwardly positioned since I didn't come straight from the eye. So it can be a little awkward to get the Jiggy if you miss it the first time. So I'm going to also show how to like recover from it. So you would come from here, hold up again, fly into this tunnel, press A again, flash straight into this Jiggy, then turn. You go into this loading zone. You go into the alcove. So now I'm gonna go and show how to get this Jiggy if you miss it the first time. So if you miss it the first time, then let me see if I can properly miss this. Yeah. So if that happens to you, then you want to tilt down just a bit. You don't want to tilt all the way down. But if you look at the bee's nose, then it goes perfectly straight when you tilt down just a bit. I'll try to land so I can sort of show you. So, see how B's nose is tilted down? When you're flying, the bee's nose is tilted down like that. If you tilt up, then it'll face straight, and it'll go as far into the thing as it can. You want to tilt down just a bit. Here it is. Hold B, of course. Then tilt just a bit down, then turn, hold up, and fly into the alcove. I'll show that entire section one more time. Then I'll show you how to escape the eye jail. Hold up. Make sure to press A around here. A again. Get that. If you don't get it, then calm down, relax. Go into the middle. The Jiggy's right in the middle. Tilt down just a bit, and then you'll get it every time, as long as you're holding B. Then turn around, hold up until you're on the tunnel's level, and fly through. Then you just go to fly into the next place. So now I'll show how to escape the eye jail. Alright, for escaping the eye jail. This can be very scary if you don't know what you're doing, but it's really easy to escape it. All you have to do, fly into this corner right here. This up corner, top left corner. Then you want to hold down, hold B. I hold R, but I don't think that matters. So you just want to make sure to fly into the top corner, hold down and hold B, and you want to mash A a few times, then let go of A. And that usually lets me flip out. So, just like that. I'll see if I can get clipped in again, so I can show it off. But it actually is really that simple. There. Hold down, mash A a few times, and you'll clip out easily. I'll try and show it one more time if I can clip in. So you fly here, hold down, 1, 2, 3, and you'll clip out, just like that. Not that hard. I think it's really, really easy if you know what you're doing. And yeah, that's just about it. Alright, so for this room, I'm going to be showing 2 different methods. Just beginner and advanced. The difference between them is like nothing, basically. The advanced one just stays in flight on the Jiggy, the beginner one lands. Saves a bit of time, but not a crazy amount. So, the main thing to take away from this setup is just what to be holding when you come out of that loading zone. So when you come out of that loading zone, you want to be holding R, you want to be holding B, and you want to be holding down. But you only want to be holding down initially, and not throughout the whole thing. You just want to hold down so the B faces down, and then after the B is facing down and is going like in that direction, then you can let go of down and start holding up. And you just hold up because of general B movement mechanics that allow you to keep your top speed. So yeah, you hold R, you hold B, and you hold down, and now, right when you come out of that loading zone, press A 2 times. Don't mash A. I would recommend not mashing A, because sometimes if you mash A, it won't register one of your inputs, and then you'll just not get enough height. So just double tap A, just make sure you get both inputs in there, and then yeah. If you do that correctly, then you'll fly into this side of the alcove. Then you just basically turn and land. Yeah, you just turn and land. To turn and land, you just basically like hold from upright to up. It's really feeling based, and it's not hard at all. It's just what you think is best to land is basically what's the best to land. So, like this. 1, 2, hold up, turn, and I just land. Get the Jiggy, and now to take off, to get to the loading zone, it's basically just learning what the loading zone is. One thing I would recommend though is not taking off straight down left. If you take off straight down left and this happens, you'll fly into this pillar, straight into that pillar, and it'll be kind of messed up. So what you want to do is either take off down or take off slightly left of down, but not fully down left. So that's just about it, and then learning where the loading zone is, then just going there. Right? So now the advanced setup. The advanced setup is just getting this Jiggy in flight. It's kind of hard, but I honestly think it's much easier than it looks. So there's not much to say about it. You just wanna, while you're here, like turning around and dipping down, you wanna face the Jiggy, and then hold up, and then press A when you get the Jiggy with your nose, and then go to the loading zone. That's pretty much it. It's pretty straightforward. One thing I can recommend though is letting go of B a bit here while you're turning, or while you're grabbing the Jiggy, just so you have more control, and then holding B again later on. It doesn't really lose time to let go of B, because B only speeds up your horizontal movement. It doesn't speed up your like up and down velocity. So I'll do it a few times just to show what it looks like, and then we'll move on to the next room. That one was pretty close, but it worked out. The Jiggy has a big hitbox. So yeah, it's just like that. Then you fly into here. So now, for this next room, it's pretty straightforward. Hold B, double tap A, and hold up. You don't want to mash A though, just make sure to not mash A, because if you do, then you'll fly into the roof of the tunnel and you won't de-transform right away. So now the very last part of this section, you want to walk under the bird, and it can be a little difficult, but if you know what you're doing, you should be able to get it. So honestly, what I would recommend here is not jumping, because it makes it much easier. So basically, what you want to do is, the way this bird works is basically the same way as the birds work in Fall in Click Clock Wood. You want to walk under it, very close to the wall, sort of running towards the wall. Not super towards the wall, but just like sort of towards it, and run at full speed. And if you do that right, then you'll just walk right under the bird. If you're feeling really confident, you can start jumping from the beginning, and you'll save like a few frames or whatever, and you can slide underneath it. But honestly, I don't think it's worth it. You can do it if you want though. So I'll just show it and then we'll be done. And yeah, it's just like that. And you open the 765 note door, and you get Talon Trot in the loading zone if you can. Then go to Furnace Fun. So yeah, that's about it for this entire tutorial. If you have any questions, please ask me or anyone else in the BK Discord. One thing I want to make sure to mention is that I would really recommend practicing this until you can get about a 2:30 or better split time from leaving Click Clock Wood to entering this loading zone. Because if you get worse than like a 2:40, I don't think you're saving time. You might be saving time, but I don't think you'll be saving much time with it. So practice it a bunch. If you just follow all the beginner steps, you should be able to get a good enough time, and it shouldn't be that hard. So just practice and you'll be able to get that good time save from Reverse RBA. Alright, thanks for watching.